All right, so here we are in the fourth and final step of this whole process, which is collect data. Now, when I say collect data, that's basically emails, phone numbers, addresses, any kind of data you can get from your customers, which will allow you to follow up with them directly. Now, the reason you want to do this is we all know that it's better to go straight to your fans versus having middlemen. And the middleman in this case is social media. I think social media is amazing. It's incredible for just sharing content with your fans and building your brand and getting discovered by new fans. But there are limitations. And because of how the algorithms are set up now on these platforms, you might only reach a very, very small percentage of your audience with every single post. So you want to make sure, especially if you're selling a product like Beats, or if you're selling really anything, any service or product, you want to be able to have that direct connection relationship with your fans where you can reach out to them anytime you want to, right? So collecting data is a big, big part of that. Now, the good news is that anytime you make a sale on BeatStars, or even if you get a free download from someone, it's going to collect their data. It's going to collect their email. It's going to collect their name. So that's all information that you can import into an email service platform like MailChimp or like ConvertKit. I mean, there's so many email services out there now. So you want to make sure you get one. I started out on MailChimp. It's just super easy to use. Everything's laid out in a very self-explanatory way. So, it's not hard at all. Now, the second thing that you can do to collect customer data is having some sort of landing page where you can funnel people to. Now, I'm going to go over this example with you guys because this is something that I've done that's worked really well for me over the years, which is I have an ebook. It's called 10 Music Industry Gems. I have volume 1 and volume 2. So if you actually go to my Instagram bio, you click on that link, you have here free download Kato's ebook volume 1 and 2. So if you click on that, it takes you to this landing page. All right. So people see, oh, okay, he's got a free ebook. Like, it's got all these incredible reviews from people who have read it. I kind of give a brief description of why an ebook. And all they got to do to get the free download link is put in their first name, phone number, email, city, state is optional. And then they click download and it'll automatically send them a link to their email. Now, what happens once they get that download link? It basically locks them into my database, which I'm going to have to do a whole nother tutorial and course on what this platform is. It's basically called Communicate. It is a platform that I just started using recently. But it is definitely a game changer, but it's still in beta. So we're still testing things, making sure that it works correctly. But if you just look here at my database, right, I have 41,357 contacts from my audience in my database. And this is names, phone numbers, emails, and even address. So you can see how useful that would be to be able to just stay in communication directly with my fans. Now, what happens when they click download on the ebook page is it automatically tags them as someone that purchased my ebook. So if I want to go over here to more filters, go to tag, and just find the people who downloaded my ebook, boom, it's going to show me everyone who has gotten my ebook so that I can follow up with them if I have another ebook, or if I release a real book that I write and it's for sale, then I already know these people have read my ebook and they're interested, more likely than not, in purchasing my next product, right? So extremely, extremely useful. You want to try to get as much data as from your customers as you can. Next part I'm going to show you is sending out email newsletters to everyone on your list. Okay. So the biggest lessons that I've learned about email marketing, it's all about the copy. And when I say copy, that's actually like the content of your emails. Like, what are you saying to these people in these emails that's going to keep them engaged? And again, going back to that sense of building community, the copy is so important. You're not just sending emails that say, yo, I just uploaded these new beats. Here's the link, go check them out, right? That's boring. That's most likely going to go into people's trash or their spam box. And that's the opposite of what you want to do. You want to offer as much value as possible, right? So, or you just want to tell them a compelling story. Say something that's going to want them to get them to want to read your email, right? So I'm going to show you an example of an email that I recently sent that hopefully funnels them back to my beat store. So I uploaded a bunch of beats the other week, and then I sent out this email to everyone who had purchased beats from me already in the past, right? So that's a warm audience. So the title of the email was Why This Song I Produced Became a Fan Favorite. So immediately, just reading the title of the email, it kind of strikes some curiosity in them where, okay, I wonder why like this song was a fan favorite, right? So now they open the email. I say, I made a song with Jaron Benton back in 2013 called My Adidas. It was on his debut album, My Grandma's Basement. Now, I'm starting with a story. I'm telling them a story because I know that a lot of these people who are on my email list have been longtime followers. They've seen kind of my process throughout the years. They've seen me in working with some of their favorite artists like Jaron. I know that because I know my audience. So I'm telling them a story about something that they are already familiar with, right? So going back to the story, I still get people to this day telling me how much they love that whole album and what it meant to them at that point in time. But My Adidas became a heavy fan favorite on the album, and I think I know why. People crave nostalgia. The whole song was about Jaron's love for Adidas shoes and what it represented for him. It wasn't just about the fashion statement. It was connected to a nostalgic feeling, a memory. So now we're getting into like, okay, everyone can relate to having nostalgia. Everyone knows what that feels like, right? So now I'm relating something that's relatable to them. So it's like a two-layered thing, okay? And that's why the song was so powerful. It not only related to others that shared the same sentiment, but it told a deeper story and history. Anything that reminds you of a past time or memory that you feel connected to, it's one of the most powerful emotions that there are, and your music can be a vehicle for it. So now I'm kind of framing them for how they can use that nostalgic feeling to reach their fans. So now it applies directly to them and what they are doing, because these are all artists. I already know that. So I want to give them something of value that's going to allow their fans to connect with them more, right? So back to the email. That's why I picked 4 new beats out of my personal beat catalog that have heavy nostalgia vibes and just uploaded them to my store. Listen to the beats here. So I include the link to my beat store. If any of them inspire you to vibe out and write a song, I'd love to hear it. And I know your fans would too, Kato. So, kept it pretty short, clear, concise. Just included one link to my beat store. I told a story. I made sure that it was something that they were interested in, and I made sure that it was relatable. So hit all those bullet points on when it comes time to sending out your emails to your list, no matter how big or small your list is. Just make sure you keep all these things in mind so that you can continue growing your list and continue building that sense of community with your audience. All right, the last and final thing is, how often should you be sending out these email newsletters to your list? So this is a number that you're going to have to experiment with and kind of get a feel for who your audience is and how much demand there is for your product. So I typically send out 1 email a week. I don't want to spam people's inboxes with my emails, right? We all know how annoying it is to get constant emails from the same people, and we don't even read them most of the time. So I want to make sure that every time I do send an email, that it's impactful and that it gives them some type of value. So I would start at once a week, kind of see what the response is to your email, see what the open rates are, make sure you pay attention to the metrics and the numbers, and just kind of scale it up from there if you need to. Maybe you find that once a week frequency is good and that it's getting you results. So if that's the case, then that's amazing. And you don't have to spam people's email inboxes. But this is definitely a number that you're going to have to experiment with and kind of figure out for yourself.